A new state law that creates a way to remove a sheriff from office is now facing a lawsuit. 4 sheriffs in eastern Washington are suing the state, the legislature, and Governor Ferguson over Senate Bill 5974. It was passed in this year's session, establishing an enhanced set of eligibility requirements for sheriffs. It also allows the Criminal Justice Training Commission to unseat a sheriff if they don't meet the new standards. The lawsuit seeks to block this new law, claiming it's an overreach of state government and robs the will of voters. Today, I spoke with an outspoken critic, Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders. It was a former sheriff, interestingly enough, Senator John Lovick, who was the former Snohomish County Sheriff, who sponsored this bill. And one of the things he said during session, and this is a quote from him, he says, "I have been asked, why do we need this legislation? My answer is, why not? Why not hold law enforcement leaders appointed or elected to the standards of accountability and professionalism that their subordinates are held to?" So his point is that we need to modernize the system, and that there are qualifications that sheriffs, the top leaders of an agency, should be able to meet, like just all the rest rank and file deputies. What is your, response to that?
Well, my response to that would be that my rank and file employees aren't elected by voters. They're appointed. Their very nature of existence, they didn't go through they went through a civil service process to get hired on. So there were very specific rules and regulations they needed to become deputy sheriffs, sergeants, promotional exams. Those are very structured. None of them were elected by their peers. So no one goes and campaigns to become a deputy sheriff. That is reserved for just the role of sheriff. Just like no one went through a civil service process to become a lawmaker. They just appealed to voters. And so I think, I respect Senator Lovick quite a bit, but I would agree to disagree here. The concern that you're going to find here isn't that law enforcement leaders are afraid of keeping their certification. I think most of us expect to keep our certification our entire career. Our concern is that this is going to become a political tool. That anytime a candidate puts their name on the ballot for sheriff, I'll just bury him in anonymous complaints. I'll just bury the incumbent in anonymous complaints. I'm not worried about losing my certification. My certification isn't in jeopardy. I'm worried about the state creating a weaponized system to target sheriffs. That's what I'm worried about.
So I
don't trust the state right now.
So you're saying it's more of a political issue for you, and a lot of these other sheriffs, I would say the vast majority of them are against this right now, the current ones, who have said repeatedly that for them the issue is the fact that you have this unelected board, CJTC in this case, that they have this kind of unprecedented authority now to unseat an elected sheriff. Is that still your main concern?
That's correct.
The lawsuit seeking to block the new sheriff law has been filed in Pend Oreille Superior Court and will be heard April 16th.